Welcome back to the European Football Show. It's myself, Lies. If you guys were in the show earlier today, welcome back. Another live show for you guys. And to my left is the one and only Culture Cams. How are you doing, my friend?
Come on, man. Listen, I'm good. But the main event is the Thursday nights. The main event is the Thursday. We ain't hit. This CL product ain't hitting, bro. This CL product ain't it. But nah, man. I'm all good, bro. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Like you said, like the last 2 days of Champions League haven't been showtime for me. I mean, we had a decent game yesterday, and we'll touch on that, of course. Today, we could have had a huge storyline if the freak hadn't turned into a freak. But I just feel like we're missing something in the Champions League last year. It's not the same campaign as it was last year. But I mean, we got Conte in the headline. People are asking why. There's a good reason for that. We're going to speak on him. We're going to speak on Barca Bayern, which I thought was probably the best game out of this match day week. But I think the only place to start, Ken, is the game that we all just got finished watching. We thought there was a shock on the cards when Jude Bellingham nodded in that first one. Everyone was adding me on the timeline. We'll get into that too. Don't you worry about that. But John Stones with a screamer. City's first shot of the game was that goal. And then, like I said, we got to just start calling him the freak, bro. The Norwegian freak. We got to find a good nickname for Haaland, bro, because this guy, I know you told me you're getting tired of talking about him. I'm sure you are, bro. Every single week, this guy's creating a headline.
Bro, I mean, look, the thing is that goal, crazy goal. But then it's just the same as what we've seen all season so far. A performance where maybe he's not so much in the game, and then bam, he can just pop up with a moment. You know what I mean? Just gonna pop up, give you a goal, and the manner of that goal, bro. Are you crazy? What kind of athleticism is that, bro? That's athleticism that you only really see from what's my man's name? From Zlatan. You know,
That's
what
I was about to say. Yeah.
Zlatan's the only one you really see jump in the air and do all these things. And the thing is, Haaland attempts that a lot. He attempts those a lot. Like a lot of the times I see Haaland, I'm like, why are you not headering it? Why are you jumping in the air? But bro, that's his move. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely crazy. But credit to him. The pass though, the pass. Come on, this is why I say supreme AF. Yeah. Supreme AF Cancelo, bro. It's levels to this game, bro. It's levels to this game, and that's why for me he's one of the best attacking fullbacks in the world. And bro, how many players can pull that off? And it's just like that. And the worst thing is we've seen him do it before. What a player! And City end up getting the victory, but ultimately I think Dortmund threw the game away. I think Dortmund threw the game away, bro. I mean, then you look at the manager going three at the back when Dortmund were doing pretty well, getting on the break sometimes as well. And then the manager goes three at the back and gives the game to them. And then the goalkeeper, I mean, he might as well caught the ball and just thrown it in the net, bruv, because what the hell was that? You know what I mean? But big up Stones for a good strike. But Dortmund, they threw that game away. But Haaland, Cancelo, what can you say? When you got individual quality like that,
there ain't not much you can do, bro. I want to speak about City, right? Because you had a take, I think it was at halftime, saying that City really haven't wowed you this year. And it's almost been Haaland has been exceptional, no doubt about it. But he's kind of saving them at times. And you look at the game against Newcastle, you look at the game against Crystal Palace, you look at the game against Aston Villa, and you look at the game tonight. And this is far from vintage City. And to be honest, I have my own take on it as well. We might share the same one, but I was saying this even last year when people were saying City needs a striker. City needed a striker to put away the multitude of chances they created, but there was no doubt that putting a guy like Haaland up front, as exceptional as he is, was going to change the way they had to play. It's not going to be a fluid front three now where you have three attackers interchange. I look like Pep right now doing those movements on the thing. You're not going to have three attackers interchanging like this. With Haaland, you have a guy who sits in the box and you put balls on a plate for him. He's going to score almost every single one of them. But the overall play is going to struggle. And I think you've seen that a few times this season. And I'm sure you probably are feeling the same way a bit with City, right? They look vulnerable at times.
I don't even think it's only an attack. I think in all phases, City are not as good as they have been. But listen, we all know City start the season slow. And they've actually got more points at this point in the season than they ever have under Pep Guardiola. So it's weird that we're talking about them like that. But we all watch games, innit? Not everything is the same, innit? We all watch games. And when you're watching the games, I'm just like, there's just something missing with City. I feel like they're a bit more vulnerable to get on the break. I think I think even though they are always going to keep possession and pop possession, is not as what's the word, threatening as it usually feels. Like, you know, it feels a bit more with
it's like
with
wave
meaning.
after wave after wave.
Yeah, and that doesn't help when you have Mahrez is not in the greatest form.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish isn't in the greatest form. I just don't know if it's going to work out for him in the way he's playing for Pep Guardiola when he's out on the touchline. So when you're looking at these guys and they're very slow, very labored, and we always know Pep has always had that explosive guy in the team, you know, in all of his teams. He's always had that guy that's making that run in beyond, that Pedro, that David Villa, Raheem Sterling. They always have them guys that are making them runs in beyond. I just don't think he has that at City at the moment. It ends up becoming a situation that when they can't find the plan B, they revert back to, I think it's at the 1920 City, where KDB is just
whipping it in, bro. Relentless.
You know what I mean? Relentlessly. And that's what was happening. Do you know what I mean? They'll just keep putting in balls, keep putting in balls. So for me, I think City are they're not as scary, in my opinion, as they have been. But I don't know, man. I think City, they go up in blocks, and they'll probably start firing soon, and everyone's gonna get blown away. But at the moment, I'm just haven't been impressed with Man City, man. I haven't, bro. I'll be honest.
I don't think that's ridiculous to say, right? And of course, City, we see them every single season. They may not start the season on fire, but they have a point in the season where they go on 10 to 12 to 14 winning games in a row. It's inevitable. And that's usually when they pull away from the rest of the crew. Everyone in the comments right now, Ben Stradamus is crazy. That's a crazy. They're all talking about Grealish, bro. Samurai Jack. They talking about Grealish always cutting in.
Yeah, it's the truth.
You're talking about the CEO of Grealish Hive and the CEO of Mahrez and the CEO of Mahrez Hive right here. We got a lot.
Yeah. I forgot.
We got a lot to answer, bro. Because
bro, it's crazy.
You might be cooked out here.
Hey, listen, Mahrez, boy, the people have been hiding that one.
I did my thing, round 31. I ain't got to do this anymore,
bro. That's what I be saying. I be saying, hey, my boy won a league. Hey, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But nah. Bants aside, yeah, with Jack Grealish, obviously Pep made a triple sub, so obviously he wasn't liking probably what he was seeing out there. But with Jack Grealish, for me, I think somebody said it in the comment above. For me, he needs to be in a freer role if he's going to succeed in any way. If Grealish is going to continue being on the touchline so wide on the pitch, it's going to continue. It's going to continue this way, and ultimately he'll get sold and he'll go somewhere else, and whatever happens. But for me, Jack Grealish needs to be in a freer role, like not a free role. Don't get twisted where I say Jack Grealish needs to be in midfield and be able to do it once. But when you look at Aston Villa, yes, he was starting on the left, but he'll pop up on the right. He'll pop up in the center. He'll pick up the ball in deeper areas, take 2-3 out the game, and then they can play from there. But when he's receiving the ball out wide, I don't see why Pep has him on the pitch because it's kind of like you're asking him to do something that he's not capable of doing. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're putting him in a position to be a Sterling, to be a Sane. He's not that player. So
I have to ask you this question, Cam. I honestly have to ask you this question. You said, I don't know why he's trying to. My biggest question is, why did he buy him? Because he is very clearly a player, but he was never going like. I understand Pep, and this is the thing with Grealish. Everyone was just convinced that, he just needs one season under Pep because you look at Bernardo, you look at Mahrez, but some players just aren't going to be able to change their game and remain effective like those guys were able to do. And that's not a slight on Grealish. Grealish is a player that, like you said, you give him the ball. He's a very ball-dominant player. That's the antithesis of a Pep Guardiola player. Bar Messi, no one in Pep's life has been given a free role in his system. So Jack Grealish was never going to be that first one. As for City's wingers, again, massive Mahrez fan, massive Grealish fan, especially with Haaland up front now. I don't think those two can be out wide on either side of them. I agree, and this is why I had a huge concern when they let go of both Jesus and Sterling. But I think that kid Alvarez has to have more minutes in this team, and I think Foden is one of those guys as well that gives you that threat in behind.
But the thing is, this is the problem that I'm finding as well. Even when you go to Phil Foden, I do not feel, as much as we've seen Phil Foden do his thing at Man City on the left wing and stuff, I don't think that is what Phil Foden should be. I just don't think that's what Phil Foden should be. I feel like Phil Foden should be playing more inside. And I feel like he's being given, even him, I feel like when I watch Foden, I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm seeing the runs in behind, but I know Phil Foden's meant to be someone that gets on the ball, takes you on, gets those good passes in, gets you goals. But even when I'm watching him, I'm just seeing it kind of, it's boring me a little bit. It's boring me. And for me, Grealish went from, for me, probably the most entertaining player in the league to watch at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So he's become one of those boring players in the league to watch at the moment.
Yep.
And I'm saying, I tweeted it a few weeks ago, that's how I feel like I'm going to start seeing Phil Foden soon. Because if we're keeping it a buck, Foden hasn't been at what I think Foden can be at for a little bit. Yeah. So it's kind of frustrating, but he's young, but it's kind of frustrating, bro. Like, obviously, as a football fan, before anything, I know we're United fans and you want City players to fail, but on a football basis, it's just a bit meh to me. But we always say this, innit? The game is about systems. Yeah. Pep is about systems. And that's just the way it is. Exactly. Pepito got to Foden. He got to Jack. But they're going to win trophies. But
I always say this, Cam, right? And this is going to sound dramatic. I don't want to get into this too much because this is a whole nother. You can do this, in fact, for FTBL culture. I'm of the belief, and I told you this actually before, I believe that Pep perfected football, but at the same time, he also ruined it in terms of from an entertainment point of view. He ruined it by how perfect it's becoming. Like you said, talking about Grealish and how brilliant he was to watch. You remember Mahrez at Leicester? This guy was Showtime every single week. And yeah, he had a few seasons at the beginning at City where his numbers were really good and he was starting every game, but it just never the same. He was more effective, but from an eye test point of view, from like as football fans, we want to see entertainment. It wasn't the same. But that's a question for a whole nother day.
Even last season, people said that Mahrez was having a great season because he scored, 20 goals or something?
Yeah, something
but
like that.
It was kind of mid. It was kind of like underwhelming a little bit. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but I hate seeing it. I hate seeing my boy Jack not enjoying, but it's one of them ones where, for me, because I know when I like a baller and I know a baller, I don't really get too concerned. If he ends up not making it at Man City, then at least I get my most entertaining player in the league back. Damn.
And he got a trophy. Yeah. And he got a league.
Hey, we're gonna post that everywhere, bro. Trust me. Hey, listen, I've been supporting this guy, since the academy days, like 14 years old, 14, 15, from next gen tournament. So when I see him do this, I'm like, it is what it is. But yeah, man.
Before we go on to the next game, this guy says, Pep is wrestling players. Before we go into the next game, I want to talk about one player on Dortmund, because the minute he scored a goal, everyone was in my notifications saying you called him overrated. You said this, you said that. Jude Bellingham at one point today was Borussia Dortmund's match winner. Didn't happen. But here's the thing.
You're happy. You're happy. You're happy he wasn't the match winner, innit?
You got me. No, hold up. Let me step up to the case. Let me step up to the court and speak to the judge 1v1. I want to not adjust my stance on Bellingham, but I just want to go more into it, because these TikTok videos, SDS, they kind of screwed me over a bit because they only put 30 seconds of the clip. Let me give my full take on
foreign land. Stay where you're protected, bro.
It's open season on me. Man, I love for them, but for real, this is my stance on Jude Bellingham. Exceptional talent, no doubt about it. That blend of physicality with technical ability, plus the ability to burst past players, his dribbling is excellent. He is a very, very talented player, and he will go on to do incredible things. I just think that at this current moment, I think that people have misprofiled Jude Bellingham. I think people think that he goes into England's midfield and solves all their issues. I don't think so, because I look at England's issues and they lack a guy who can progress the ball from deep, who's kind of a controller. Bellingham isn't that kind of player. I look at a guy that they say would walk into Real Madrid's midfield, for example. I don't think so. I don't think he gets in over a Camavinga or a Tchouaméni. Whether he's a bigger talent is another question. I think he's incredible. And I think over the things I'm saying, for example, today, he registered 45 touches. He completed 29 passes. That's not incredible for a midfielder. I know Dortmund didn't have a lot of the ball, but that's not I look at a Pedri or a Musiala and I look at them and say, okay, these are controllers. Not to say they're better talents than Bellingham, but that's what they are. Bellingham, in a few years, when he matures a bit more, will add that to his game. And he will be one of the top midfielders on the planet. But I just think people are going a little too far with Bellingham. I don't think he's there right now. And the goal was great today, but nothing I said was disproved by him scoring a header today. That's all I got to say on him.
Yeah, you slandered the boy, and now you're trying to say exceptional talent.
I'm backtracking.
You know what I mean? He's an exceptional talent. Nah, bro. Listen. For me, Bellingham. Look, Bellingham's a baller. He's a good player. It depends how highly you say he's been overrated. What do you mean? Like he's overrated in terms of how highly do you see people call him?
I look at like the thing I always see is he gets into any midfield in the world, which I don't think so, and that he's the answer to England's problems. I don't think so. Those are the two big things I disagree with.
Let me say the thing about England. The one thing about England is that England's not the greatest measure for anyone. I'm telling you that it's not the greatest measure for anyone because we've seen great English players go to England and not succeed. We've seen, and then they go to their club and they do their thing, and we've seen a lot of things like that. You know what I mean? Gareth Southgate bought. England's one of them ones where it's not the greatest thing to kind of judge on. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not the greatest thing to judge on. So when you say like, he's not going to solve England's problems, I agree with you. He's not going to solve England.
Here's the thing, Cam. I believe there's other midfielders that might not even be as good as he is, but like Pedri for me solves a lot of England's problems because they need a controller. They need someone.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. No, I agree with that because Pedri's a controller and Bellingham's a hybrid kind of this modern, these box-to-box kind of players. So I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but I don't know. Maybe overrated might have been the wrong word. I don't know how high people rate him. I don't think people are saying he's the best in the world or anything. Like when I look at Pedri, Musiala, and
I think he's in there. I think he's probably in there, maybe a little lower than Pedri, around the same thing as Musiala. But the thing is, again, this is why I called him overrated. No one ever talks about Musiala the same way they talk about Jude Bellingham. Maybe it's because Bellingham is English and he's linked to Liverpool, but I think they're at a similar level.
It's because Bellingham, we all know, is coming to the Prem one day. We might never ever see Musiala in this league, bro. We might never see him in this league. He doesn't look like he has any desire to come back to this league. He's hooping out in Bayern, but we all know Bellingham is coming to the Prem soon. Similar to Jadon Sancho, we all knew he was coming to the Prem soon. So the interest on Jude Bellingham is far higher than the interest at the moment on Musiala. But Andy, it's just the way they are as well. Let's look at their characters. Bellingham does interviews. Bellingham goes on saying, like, the game's gone, man. Stats are proven. Everyone likes stats only. Like, he's on all of that. Whereas Musiala, bro, I've never heard him speak.
Yeah, it's true.
I've never heard him say a word. So he's just getting on with his business. So there's a difference there. But for me, when you look at Pedri, for me, he's the best in that role.
He's the best teenager on the planet. Or I don't even know if he's still a teenager, wherever he is now.
I think Musiala is the best talent in Germany, personally, young talent in Germany, in the Bundesliga. Camavinga, there's these guys, Tchouameni. There's a lot of guys. There's a good little crop of people coming. But one thing I would agree with you is that I don't think Bellingham is some one-in-a-lifetime kind of a player. That's the one thing I would agree with. But overrated, I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't the right word. I look at a guy like Pogba, for example, right? We're always going to bring it back to Pogba. But Pogba, for example, was a player that I also felt was over-profiled. But no, I think... Forget about what you think of Pogba or not. I think he was a player that people looked at and said, he can come to England and play deep and play box to box. And he couldn't do it. His best role was in the final third, given freedom on that left-hand side to kind of create and do his thing. Bellingham, I think, is a bit more box to box. I think he has the potential to do that a bit more. Just because, But I also feel like United, for example, the kind of thing they would do maybe before Ten Hag came in, would buy a Bellingham and play him in a pivot next to Fred or something like that. That's the kind of shit a club like Man United would do. As long as people realize what Bellingham is, I got no problem with the guy. Today when he scored, I was celebrating.
Wait, hold on. What I don't understand is box-to-box players are meant to be able to play in pivots. That's why you're box-to-box. That's why you're box-to-box.
Yeah, fair. But when I said a pivot, for example, I mean like a guy like who can like pick up the ball off his center backs and like a tempo center like that. First phase. Yeah, first phase.
I know, but that's what I don't like about football no more. Why is everything so specialist? Like, why can't a midfielder be able to do multiple things in the flipping game? Why is everything first phase midfielder, second phase midfielder, third phase midfielder? Bro, when I grew up watching football, man, them could ball, bro. A centre midfielder meant you can do an array of things, bro. Yeah. And you're going to make things happen. You were either a centre midfielder and then you had the special number 10s and stuff like the Zidanes and all that. But the rest of the centre mids, they could do whatever they wanted to do. But now everything is this and there and this is what it's all robotic and jarring, man. But let's move on.
It got perfected. What do you want to go on next? Conte or Barca Bayern? Because this guy's asking about that.
Let's talk about. We were just on Musiala. Let's talk about the Bayern game, man.
Absolutely, man. For me, again, I repeat it. I think it was the best game that we watched this week. The tempo was incredible, especially the first half. The first half as well. Barca, in my opinion, I don't know where you stand on this. could have been 4-5-0 up, man. Lewandowski, for as clinical as he started the season, again, this has always been a thing.
When it was Victoria Pleasant, they were in the comments. When it was Victoria Pleasant, they were in the comments and
when it was Elche, bro.
You think he can't chat to Benzema and Suarez? Now what? Allow me, man.
This has always been my issue with Lewandowski. Exceptional striker, one of the best of his generation. But I think in the biggest Champions League games, he's left a lot wanting in the past, especially against Real Madrid and some of those big Champions League games for Bayern. But he missed some really gilt-edged chances. Pedri as well could have put Barca 1 or 2 up ahead. And this guy's saying 4 or 5, he's spoken crack. I don't think so. I think Barca could have genuinely scored 4 goals the other game. The problem is defensively, you look at that goal, the Hernandez goal, woeful defending. And then you look at how easily Musiala was able to split that Barca midfield and then play in Sané, who was able to equally split that Barca defense. It's just really, really poor defensively. But hey, when you got Christensen and Alonso in a back four, they weren't doing it for Chelsea. What makes you think they're going to do it for Barca in the Champions League? What were your big takeaways from last night's game? Are Barca maybe not at that level of the elite European teams like the Bayerns, the Cities, perhaps the Real Madrids and PSGs? Or is it just on another day they win that game?
For me, I think Barcelona are just not mature yet. You know what I mean? They haven't matured yet, but they need time to gel. I genuinely think yesterday they could be proud of their performance.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, in the first half, if Lua even has scored 2 of them, at least you're 2-0 up. He and also I remember he was put through, he got caught. Then there was another one where Neuer passed it to him. He got it caught under his feet again. Honestly, I don't actually think they played that bad. They're just not mature yet. Like when it went to 1-0, regroup. Shouldn't be letting it go to 2-0. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Bayern were that super impressive. I still think with that backline, Bayern ain't going to win the Champions League.
The thing is, Upamecano was exceptional yesterday. That was the best game I've ever seen him play for Bayern. I thought he was really good for them.
Fair enough, but...
Yeah. I'm not saying he's always going to play like that. He has a howler in him, definitely. Yeah.
He ain't it for me. I'll leave the jury out for that one, but nah. I think Barcelona, they're a new team, bro. Look how much they signed. They need to gel. So I'm waiting to see if that's going to happen. But honestly, I think they played all right yesterday. That's my opinion. Like, I actually think they played all right. I don't think they could be fuming about it. I know Aaron said proud of performance, Arsenal hype. Yeah. But I hear that. I hear that. But at the same time, as I said, I don't think they could be that discouraged, bro. I think they played all right. And we'll see. They might be able to grow in the tournament. Are they going to win it? Probably not. But they're going to trouble some teams, bro. They're going to trouble teams. And again, Lua, man, if he had his shooting boots on, it's all of a sudden it's a different game. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like Bayern had 1,000,001 chances and stuff. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't even think Bayern were that great. Sane got the goal in the end. Obviously, Sane is a great, great player. But I don't even think he was playing right wing. I don't even think he was having a good performance. Mane, again, I don't think Mane had a good performance. They had to move him from up top to the wing. Because Muller was looking at him like, broski, you gonna contribute anything up there, bro? Yeah. I mean, this ain't heavy metal clock ball. We need you to do a little bit more. So I don't know, man. I think it was just an average performance. I don't think it was the greatest game in the world, but
here's the thing with Barca, right? You talk about the immaturity, or like maybe immaturity is not the right word, but they're just a new team, right? I think people also have to remember, and it's not really an excuse, but their manager is very inexperienced at this level of the game. I know he's older than Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann, it's crazy that he's 35, right? He's younger than some of the players on the pitch. But Xavi, yeah, bro. He said he started coaching at like 28, bro. The stat yesterday was that Nagelsmann, he had to retire from football at 20 years old, and he started coaching from there, bro.
He's 35.
That's the stat they told me yesterday. If you guys want to correct me,
I just checked it. He's 35.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Damn.
right?
Damn.
Nah, but he's 35. That's what I'm saying. Like, Nagelsmann is 35, but he's an experienced 35 for how many years he's been coaching at the top level. Xavi, although he did his thing in Qatar or wherever he was, has never really coached these big Champions League games, right? Like, he's very inexperienced at this level. And you talk about regrouping a team at 1-0 down to make sure that they stay compact and don't concede immediately after. Xavi has played these games at the highest level. Of course, you'd think he knows that, but it's a totally different story doing it off the touchline rather than playing. I want to give a special shout out though to one player who I thought like rolled back the years yesterday, and it's Busquets. I thought Busquets had a time machine on him.
First half, second half.
I don't know. Defensively, I thought he was probably their best player yesterday. I think he actually rolled back the years because Busquets, there's games where defensively, they be shredding him. But I thought yesterday, like, very, very good performance. The one for me that I kind of looked at, it was a little disappointing, and he kind of looked out of his depth a bit, was Rafinha. I think, and this is my take on the Barca wingers, I don't know if I like Rafinha and Dembele on either side because I think they're so good on the right each, but playing either one of them on the left takes so much away from their game. I'm very interested in seeing once Ansu Fati is really fit and firing again because he's still coming back from a big injury, what that looks like with him on the left and with one of those two on the right. That's where I think Barca will really be at their peak in terms of their attack.
No, I don't. I think Busquets yesterday was good in the first half. I think the second half the game kind of went. I don't think he really had control in the game like that. I think Pedri was good in the first half as well. As I said, I think it was an overall good performance. I mean, that comment right there, like Pedri learning from Xavi and Busquets is only going to help him. But yeah, I think Busquets was good. But that's the thing about Busquets now. It's not as he doesn't have the Xavis and the Iniestas and stuff like it's not easy to control a whole game all the time the way because you see the way he plays, he's very short with it. Short. So eventually, if the next man in front of you ain't progressing the play or making stuff happen, it starts to make him a little bit like, all right, be more expansive. But that's not his game. So after a while, you start to look at it and you start thinking, well, he's not really doing anything. But nah, I think Busquets, bro, you know my opinions on Busquets, man. All time, right there, man. One of the best I've ever seen in my life. So it is what it is, but it's always good to see him balling, man. But I don't know, man. I don't think Barcelona should be that discouraged.
Yeah, like you said, man. I mean, youngish team in terms of like lifespan. They've only been together for a few months, but they're only going to get better. And Bayern as well. Mane, I'm not convinced by that experiment up front, to be honest with you. I don't think that has much of a lifeline in terms of like success for Bayern, but we'll see how they do. Next game that I want to talk about that happened this week, and I want to speak to you specifically about it because we've had long conversations about this man, Antonio Conte and Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League yet again flopping. I mean, Conte's European record, if you guys don't know it, me and Cam have said it a few times each. In his entire Champions League career, he has 2 knockout wins ever. And they come against Celtic in 2013 at home and Celtic in 2013 away. He's never gotten past the quarterfinals. He's never won a game in the quarterfinals. And 2 games into this group, and honestly, what's almost a Europa League level group when you look at Sporting, Marseille, and Frankfurt, no disrespect, but these aren't big hitters. 1 win, 1 loss, and neither game has been really convincing from him. What do you think?
Bro.
This is a good question if you want to answer this. Yeah.
12 losses, 13 wins in the Champions League. 2 knockout round wins. 36% win percentage in the Champions League. Listen.
Yo, that's crazy.
I'm a Conte guy, bro. I love Conte. I think that guy is a great manager, bro. But when you're doing the Champions League record like that, and I tried to get Tapping Tobes in here today and Fuad, but they're both busy to talk about Spurs. But, bro, it hasn't been champagne football. It's never going to be champagne football. Yeah, exactly. It's never going to be champagne football with Spurs and Conte, but it hasn't been BT popping up in the background. Hasn't been super impressive. Do you know what I mean? And now when they lose the first games, the first loss since April, they shouldn't panic or anything like that. But their fans, I'm seeing their fans. I tap into fan bases, bro. They're already starting to be like, Conte's sticking with this guy, sticking with that guy, So it just shows me that even though they've been winning, they haven't really been too proud of their performances. And there we go. The record, 36 games, 13 wins, 11 draws, 12 losses. That's 36% win rate. Conte, you're under the lights, bro. You're under the lights. And look, I got no loyalties to no one. You are under the lights in the Champions League. Why do you think I said they must be dark horses this season? Because Conte must rectify that record. And it's not looking good. But big up my boy Ruben Amorim. Are you dumb?
Yeah.
Big up Giancarlo Inacio. Are you dumb? Come on, man. Some real
Marcus Edwards.
Listen, are you dumb? I'm telling you now, bro. So, but nah, honestly, big trouble for Conte in the Champions League in Europe. And exactly, hey,
my man on the left.
Hey. Are you good over there?
He loves that celebration. What is it, bro?
You good over there? Bro, where are you, fam?
Hey,
bro.
I got to take on Son, man. I'm full of hot takes on Son, but before I do that, Conte, here's the thing with Spurs fans, right? Antonio Conte's football is a bit like Jose's, and it's a bit like, who else am I trying to think of in terms of pragmatic? Simeone. In terms of when your team is winning, that football is great, bro. You love being the underdog. You love winning games on the counterattack. You love being dark horses, underdogs, but you have to win. When you do not win while playing the football that Antonio Conte plays, you're not coming out of games happy. You're not coming out of games like, oh, we played okay. Like Barca, for example, like you just said, they can hold their heads high. When Antonio Conte doesn't win games and doesn't win trophies, fans react because at the end of the day, you're basically selling your soul for the trophies of Antonio Conte. You're sacrificing good football for, at the end of the day, results. That's what Spurs fans did last year with top 4, and that's what they're hoping to do with top 4 again this year, or a trophy. So I'm with you, man. He has to do something this year. Top 4, definitely. And winning a cup or progressing out of the group, for me, it has to happen for Spurs. Otherwise, Pochettino was doing the same thing. I'm sure they could go find, like a Graham Potter, for example, would get them in the top 4 potentially while playing good football. As for Son, this is my take on Son. I think people went completely overboard last season with him. Son is one of the best finishers on the planet when he's on it, right? Obviously, right now, it's not going for him, but he's one of the best finishers on the planet. And in transition, last man on the final line of defense, you send him through, it's game over 99% of the time. But outside of that, bro, his game is lacking. He can't take on a fullback to save his life. Like his dribbling, people call him Sonaldo. He's Sonaldo at 37 years old, bro. He's stiff. Son can't beat his man. So I think, bro, it's true. Son cannot beat his man to save his life. He's a player that he's like Rashford. Rashford, I think, actually, in terms of beating his man, is a bit more consistent than him. But he's like Rashford in that you send him through on goal, and his finishing is amazing, better than Rashford's in that regard. So I don't think people should be too surprised of that. Kane right now is the primary goal threat for Spurs. Son last year wasn't, and Kane was kind of playing that deployed role. At the moment, I think Spurs' best front three, you could argue, is Richarlison, Kane, and Kulusevski.
Easily. Conte is messing about by trying to play Son through form. Sometimes you got to tell man sit down. But yeah. It's the truth, bro. The thing is, we all say this stuff about Salah. The same thing can be applied to Son, and Salah does it at a much higher level and a much better level. Salah's clear of Son. I'm not even gonna bother with that. Salah's clear of Son, but Son, bro, you know what I mean? Do you know what Son became? Son became that player that everybody said is so. People weren't talking about Son much, right? Yeah. So people turn around and start saying he's so underrated. Mm-hmm. Once a player falls into this underrated box, I'm telling you,
it's only up from here.
they become underrated for like 6 weeks, and then they become so, because people keep saying he's so underrated, he's so underrated, he's so underrated. All of a sudden, he becomes the most overrated player in the game, bro. People start going too far. They start going too far. And Son, listen, we know what he is. Yeah, if Son's not putting the ball in the back of the net, yeah, then he's pretty useless. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's waiting for that Kane.
I agree.
That's what I said. He's been waiting for Kane's stimmy pack all season. Kane's like, yo, I'm trying to get mine this season.
I'm on goal scoring this season, bro.
Kane's like, yo, you think I'm just going to let Haaland run a smuck all over my league? No, I'm going to start putting numbers myself. I don't know what you're doing, Donny. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're doing over there. So, Son, he better start getting in his bag, because this Kane assist package ain't coming for you right now, bro. Make something happen. Make stuff happen. I'm seeing them. They give him same ratings as flipping Neymar and FIFA.
Crazy, bro.
I'm not even gonna get into that. But as the comment said, you good over there? Because the lights are on now. The nice guy image is just ain't gonna carry you through everywhere. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Conte, Son, please rise.
Fraud watch. We're watching. We're watching. I think Conte too. I mean, you talk about rotation. Emerson Royale can no longer be playing for Spurs consistently, bro. That guy is... It's the biggest conundrum in world football, how that guy played for Barcelona, and now how he's playing in the Champions League for Spurs. You bought that kid. What's the kid from Nottingham Forest? Jed Spence.
Yeah.
Surely he can't play as bad as Emerson has been playing the last few seasons. Bissouma, we've barely seen a sniff of Bissouma since they bought him in the last season. I don't know if he's trying to slowly bed him in, but for a guy of that caliber, I think he provides more than what Højbjerg or Bentancur are providing on a daily basis. So look, you have all this excellent depth. You got to start using it, Conte. And I'm sure he will. I'm not trying to write off Spurs this early in the season, but hey, man, I think a result like this was coming. They haven't played well in a minute.
The thing is, you got to remember, yeah, he's not, Jed Spence ain't his signing.
Yeah, that's true.
He clearly said, yo, that's the club signing. They sign him. All right, cool. I'm telling you, I feel like Jed Spence might be one of those ones where he's just gonna go on a random loan next season or in January, and we're not gonna see him put on a Spurs shirt for like a year or two or something like that, like properly on a consistent basis. Remember Wilfred Zaha?
Yeah.
At United. A situation like that where it's just like, hey, you came club signing kind of thing. I ain't got nothing to do with you.
You're gonna hear Jed Spence is with Conte's daughter. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, when Evra went and said that on Sky Sports, like a tapped you,
Yo.
But yeah, man. No, honestly, I just don't think it's gonna. I just don't think it's Conte's man. Simple as that. Simple as that.
I agree with you, man. Spurs, we're watching you. Other results around Europe, just to cover them really quickly. Juve, I'm watching you guys with both eyes open right now. Horrible form in the league. I think they've won one game all season. Champions League, they're 0 for 2 in a group of PSG and Benfica, which is not going to be easy. I mean, PSG, they keep doubting us. We keep rising. Best front three on the planet. Ney, Mbappe, and Messi again on the score sheet. What other score lines were there this weekend? Chelsea, I know we didn't really watch that game too much, so we don't want to give you guys some fake analysis like other channels are doing, but tough. It's tough for them right now, right? Because they drew against Salzburg, they lost against Zagreb, and now they play Milan home and away. Bro, if they don't win both of those games, they're struggling because they're on 1 point out of 3 right 1 point out of 2 games right now. That's tough for them.
Bro, I don't know. I think with Chelsea, it's gonna take a while, innit? I saw Graham Potter in a suit.
First time in my life.
Bro, listen. Be yourself. Be yourself, player. Be yourself, bro. Don't start acting different. Don't start acting different.
I ain't never seen you act like this before.
Bro, I ain't seen you act like this, bro. Be yourself, bro. Man, putting on the suit,
this ain't
trim,
real you.
made. I'm like, broski, be yourself, man. Be yourself. So I don't know, man. I think, look, Chelsea. I'm not even gonna look at Chelsea for the next like month or two, because the new manager now, he's gonna have to try it in bed. It's not even interim where it's like, all right, come do a madness. He's actually gonna come in and actually have to build what he wants to build. So yeah, man.
They saying Potter got a fade, bro.
Bro, looking like a geography teacher or something, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, put on that tracksuit, man.
Hey,
but yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see with Chelsea. I don't really think it's a big deal. 1-1 draw. But as you mentioned, bro, 2 games next, when you mentioned to me earlier, is against Milan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I ain't gonna sit here and act like Milan are 2011 Barcelona or anything, but that's a tricky one, bro. You lose to Zagreb, you draw against Salzburg.
That's what I'm saying. They have to win both those games against Milan. Both of them they have to win.
Bro, that's gonna be real interesting. We're watching closely, boy. I'm watching closely.
That's what I keep saying, bro. That's why for me the timing of the Chelsea sacking was wrong, bro. Because now imagine Potter goes out in the group stages and then he doesn't make top 4 this season. Pressure is on, bro. Potter, you were my guy, but damn, I hate it had to be you, bro.
Hate that had to be you, bro. I don't give a damn. Liao, everyone's talking about Liao in the comments. Yeah, he does well. Liao's good.
He's a hooper, bro. Buy your stocks now, bro. I'm telling everyone, buy your Milan stocks now. They're coming, bro.
Other games. I'm still watching him a little closer, but he's good so far. He's good.
Madrid, 8 games, 8 wins this season. No Casemiro, no problem. Benzema hasn't even started the season that well, but if you guys want to hear more about Real Madrid, Cam's got a video on Vinny versus Dembele, actually. Check out FTBL's content, of course. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you check out that video. Real Madrid, man.
Like button. 230 people inside right now. 55 likes. What is that? Come on, people. What is that? Hit the like button. It's literally staring at you right now. There's actually no excuse. Bro, like, there's no excuse. Hit the like button so it moves the algorithm. Make sure you like, make sure you share and subscribe. Turn the notifications on because a lot of content is coming from this page. Definitely. Guys, what is it? 8.1K, I think it is. Let's get that higher. Keep subbing to the channel. But anyway, this guy's
saying no Casemiro, no problem for United too. Hey, man, chill on that guy, man. We're cooking, bro. We're cooking. Real Madrid, 8 games, 8 wins. Everyone was saying last year, brilliant for them to win the Champions League, but was it a bit of a fluke? Were they the best team in any game they even played? Hey, man, they're showing that, look, they only got better. You're adding a guy like Rodrigo to a back 4 that was already very, very solid last season. Vinny just continues to get better, and Rodrigo, he's kind of making, I don't know, to the level, he's kind of making that step up that Vinny did. I don't know if he's going to reach the same heights, but he's showing you. Everyone was saying, is there enough cover for Benzema if he goes out injured? The only other striker they have is Mariano.
Rodrigo is good. Listen, I gotta be fair, right?
Yeah.
You see me, I'm a very judgmental guy when I'm watching football, right? Rodrigo took a while to warm to me, bro. I was looking at him. I was like, you're just some random don who's just managed to play for Real Madrid, kind of like the Lucas Vasquez, and you know what I mean. I put him in that boat.
Yeah,
bro. Every time he plays, he impresses me, bro. Every single time. Like I'm one of them guys that if you impress me when I see you, I can't sit and act like I don't rate you, or I can't just have a prejudgment on you. He actually, every time he plays, he looks threatening. I've seen him score headers. I've seen him score on his right foot. I've seen him score his left foot. He's good
too, man.
He gets in good areas. Yeah. Very good player, bro. Very good player. The next step for him, before we start saying the Vinny ascendant, is will he be starting week in, week out, every single week and be able to consistently perform? Yeah. Then we're going to be able to see that. But he's a fantastic little player right there, man. Honestly.
Definitely, man. Yeah.
Any team is trying to move cheeky. That's the type of players you snap up, man. And you might not have to pay 100 million for. You know what I mean?
So. People forget they paid 40. I think they might have paid more for Rodrigo than they paid for Vinicius, bro. They paid a lot of money for that guy. But the thing with Rodrigo, right, that I really like, he isn't as explosive as Vinny. I don't even think he's as talented as him. But his IQ on Rodrigo is very, very good. And like the fact that he can play on the right, down the middle, and people will tell you his best position is on the left. That versatility makes any player that much more useful, man. I think Rodrigo is top.
Somebody said Rodrigo is their favorite Somali baller. Listen, he's like them Red Indian. He's like the Red Indian. You know, like the Red Sox, the Red Indians.
I'm staying out of him.
Every time I see him, that's what I think, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm staying out of it, bro. I'm gonna let you and Fua talk on that, bro. That's crazy.
Hey, I'm staying out of it, try and claim Rodrigo, you know,
and Vinny.
He's really trying to claim Vinny, bro. Allow it. When they were calling Vinny Somali, he weren't claiming that, bro.
This is a good question. Madrid new gen or Barca new gen? Who's got the advantage? Let me run through it a bit. At Real, you got Militao, you got Tchouaméni, you got Camavinga, you got Valverde, you got Rodrigo, and you got Vinny. And then at Barca, you got who? Gavi, Pedri, Ansu Fati. I guess you can count Araujo in there as well. I don't know how young he is, but he's relatively new over there. Who you got?
I think the Real Madrid ones are a little bit ahead right now. Valverde, he looks like I don't know how old Valverde is. How old is he?
Let me check while you wax lyrical about these guys.
Valverde looks like a seasoned pro already. You know what I mean? I don't know how old he is.
24 years old, bro. 24.
So he's not even that young. So he looks like a seasoned pro. For me, I got to go Real Madrid. I do think Ansu Fati's ceiling
is high.
It's unbelievable. I think Pedri's ceiling is unbelievable. Gavi is good. He's a good player as well. He's neat. We'll see what happens with him.
I agree.
But Tchouaméni is quality. Camavinga is quality. Valverde. Who was the other name that you just said? Rodrigo, Vinny.
Militao is recently young.
And let's be respectful. This Real Madrid lot, other than Tchouaméni,
are champions.
They're La Liga champions. They're Champions League winners. Barcelona were getting pumped in the Europa League to I can't even was it Olympia? I can't even remember who it was that knocked them out last season.
Benfica.
So we have to be real respectful to the Real Madrid lot. They're ahead of them right now, and it is what it is. But those little Barcelona players, their ceiling could be higher than the Real Madrid ones. Who knows? But right now, it's easily Real Madrid.
I want to speak on Tchouaméni a little, not too much because everyone knows how much of a fan I. Come on, he's brilliant.
Of course, he goes to the World Cup. Why wouldn't he?
Deschamps, you never know, bro. You better be belling up Rabiot before he calls on Camavinga.
Bro, where's Matuidi? He's gonna call him up as well, isn't it?
He's gonna try asking Sissoko and Matuidi to come back.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Hey, yo, Tchouaméni is on, man. I don't want anyone to undermine how difficult it is a job to replace the most successful defensive midfielder in Champions League history overnight, because that is literally what Tchouaméni is doing. This guy has never played at a consistent Champions League level. He's been a top professional, like at a top level for 2 seasons now, and he has walked into Real Madrid's midfield and honestly given them a new dimension. I don't want to disrespect Casemiro anyway, because his trophy cabinet speaks for itself. But Tchouaméni is different, but a good different, bro. Like, Real Madrid look way more comfortable in possession than they did last year. I'm not saying they're going to win the Champions League in more comfortable fashion. I'm not saying he's better than Casemiro, but he has really walked in there and looked like he's been there for years. Tchouaméni, his maturity is on a different level, bro. Another one, 22, 21 years old, but he plays like he's 27.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I agree, bro. Like, obviously, we gotta see him in the later stages. You know what I mean? It's early. We gotta see him in the later stages, but he's good, man. He's a good player. He's young. Yeah, yes, that's funny. He's young, so I'm impressed with him, man, for sure. But I think Camavinga should go to the World Cup.
Definitely,
I know he's going to start at the World Cup because he's been starting. He's been starting, so I think he's going to start. But I don't think Camavinga is going to start. But I think he should go, man.
I think especially, if Pogba's out, that's what I was about to say.
Is injured and isn't what he was.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Unless I'm missing anyone. Am I missing any centre midfielders?
I'm telling you, you're forgetting Rabiot, bro. This guy Deschamps will be starting Rabiot if he has to, bro.
Oh,
anything is possible with Didier Deschamps. You're gonna learn that real soon, bro.
Oh my god, that's brother. If he does that, he's gonna kill us. But let's move on. Let's move on to the last one. I'll say before we take questions, guys. Get your questions loaded. Don't ask your questions now. When we say give us the questions, then send it to us. But right now,
let them load.
Last one. I got a question for you, Liez.
Go ahead.
Who is the best player in the world?
You know what, man? The whole last 12 months, I've been saying one name consistently. I've been saying Kylian Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe. In terms of decisiveness, in terms of goals, in terms of versatility, in terms of last year, he carried PSG. Not too much, but he carried them from being a very average team to being league champions and even standing a chance against Real Madrid. This year, he started the season pretty well. But I think that we need to renew this a bit. And I'm looking at his teammate. And no, it's not the 7-time Ballon d'Or winner because he's been great. As much as you want to call him washed, I won't say it's him. I think the way Neymar has started this season, bro, and Neymar at his best, I've always maintained this, is better than Mbappe. And right now, Neymar's at his best. And there's nothing Mbappe can do to replicate what Neymar's doing. Neymar creatively, I don't think there's many better playmakers of anyone in the world because his final ball is elite, but his ability to dribble and create chances through his movement is elite. And he's added goal scoring back into his game. I was about to say he's added it to his game, but he's had that before. He's been prolific. He told us in the beginning of the season, all the shots are going in this year, and he ain't lied once. At this current moment in the season, if the season were to end today, and of course it's not because we're only 8 games in, if it were to end today, Neymar would be my Ballon d'Or winner. The best player in the world at the moment.
Fair enough. I hear what you're saying. Obviously, Benzema's going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I'm saying for this season.
I've got to disagree. Go ahead. As much as I agree with you, when it comes to footballing ability, Neymar is one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. Pure ability, probably in the top 10 I've ever seen in my life, right? Ridiculous. But I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If PSG go into a Champions League game with Neymar and Messi up front, right? I don't think they'll win those games. They need Mbappe, bro.
They do, of course.
They need Mbappe. Mbappe is the one in that team, bro. For me, he is the one. The guy scores in every big game as well, bro. Yeah. Every big game, Mbappe scores. Like, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, because of pure footballing ability," and I agree. You know me, I love pure footballers. It's not even close, and I agree with what you're saying in terms of Neymar is best is the whole package and stuff, right? It's great, but Mbappe.
It's crazy.
Is an absolute weapon, bro.
I can't disagree.
Did you see the goal today?
I saw it, of course.
Goal. Did you see Messi's goal?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's all Mbappe.
How sharp that brother is, bro. Yeah. Got the ball, but step over, boom, across the box. That's
Ronaldo right there, bro.
Mbappe is the one for me. Yeah, he's the best player in the world, bro. He's the best player in the world because, fam, it's so consistent. Last season, let's be honest, again, this is where people got what people do. Last season, people were saying Neymar might be finished. Now, 10 games into the new one, he's the best player in the world. I know we all appreciate about how good he is. And I know Mbappe didn't have the greatest game today, but he is too devastating, bro. And for me, he's their most important player. Take Messi out, I think with Mbappe, you still got a chance. Take Neymar out with Mbappe. Messi and Mbappe, listen, everything we're seeing right now, what are we seeing right now? Messi and Mbappe link up. Neymar and Mbappe link up.
One consistent. There's one constant.
There's one consistent who's making these men eat. It's Kylian Mbappe, bro. So for me,
can we speak on this, please? Mbappe has no technical quality. This is the biggest myth in world football. People love framing that Mbappe is just some. I was reading someone say M transition or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, Mbappe. I used to call him M transition. That's right. We used to call him M transition.
But that's the thing. People used to call him that. But guys, if you watch even an ounce of football these days, it's dumb. Like, I keep saying it. Look at the average line of defense in Europe, and Ligue 1 has one of the deepest defensive lines in all of Europe. This guy isn't playing against teams starting at their halfway line. He's playing against teams that are practically at their own goal. Mbappe has so much to his game right now. Go ahead.
To say Mbappe hasn't got technical ability,
it's crazy.
The guy has technical ability, right? Like, to say that he hasn't. Obviously, his thing is his unbelievable speed and athleticism, of course, and the sharpness and dynamism. Of course, when you are that good, when you have that, naturally, that's what's going to show the most. But it doesn't mean that you don't have technical ability. The guy has technical ability. Let's not play. The guy can get through small gaps. The guy can get through. Like, Mbappe is becoming he is the most hated player in football. He is the most hated player in football. And of course, naturally, with these type of players, I get it. You're going to be OPs. I saw that guy just say Mbappe's doing what Haaland's doing. That is just such
cap.
This is just nonsense talk, man. I just watched Haaland have 11 touches in the first half, do nothing all game, then score. Like, it's nonsense talk. Mbappe can still create for you. And I'm saying no one is trying to say Mbappe is Neymar level technically, but please let's stop trying to act like Mbappe is Mikel Antonio or something. Going by this chat, we've got Mikel Antonio in our hands. They're talking like Mbappe is Mikel Antonio. It's silly talk, man. It's silly talk. People got to realize we're watching an all-timer, bro. We're watching an all-timer. Like, you are in the flesh of watching an all-timer.
Let me tell you this, right? I can't remember where he's at exactly, but there was a point last season when he scored that goal against Real Madrid where he already at 23 years old had outscored the likes of Samuel Eto'o, Wayne Rooney, and Ricardo Kaká in Champions League football. These guys,
stats in terms of like those records, they're all gonna get broken in these new eras.
Bro, here's the thing with Mbappe, bro. He's doing it at 23 years old, bro. It's not like he's doing it at the end of his career. He's beating all-timers at this stage in his career. And the thing with Mbappe, right? You look at his resume in Europe against the top teams, he's gone to every single big stadium in Europe and torn it up. The Bernabeu, the Camp Nou, the San Siro, the Bayern, the Allianz Arena, Old Trafford, the Etihad, Anfield, every single stadium you want to name, he's done bits there.
He has crashed it. He has ran crazy everywhere, bro. Everywhere. You know what I'm trying to say? I just seen him score 2 volleys against Juventus.
I saw Trivella the other day, bro. Come on.
Bro, listen, he's a great player, but he's in that phase right now, where he's the most hated. It's always gonna pass. It's always gonna pass. It happens. There's gonna be a moment where everyone's just gonna sit back and say, wow, Mbappe is so good, you know, and that moment's gonna come. But yeah, right now he's in that phase of he's just, I don't know, man. He's the villain of football, innit?
But so we can agree on this, right?
I get what people are saying if he gets injured, but you can say that about anything. If Haaland gets injured and isn't able to do fly kick in the middle of the air like he just did today, what happens? You know what I'm trying to say? People get injured. That's football. If people get Neymar, he got injured, and has he been peak Neymar? No. Let's not try and sit here and act like this is the Barcelona Neymar and all this type of stuff. He got injuries and it started to slow down. So if you get injured, any player, if you get injured, it's going to affect you, bro. As simple as that. Like, so we can't rate Mbappe until we've seen him survive an injury and come back. You
know what that is, right? It's like anyone who says that must not rate R9 because he got injuries and he didn't come back the same. So you must not rate R9 with that logic, right? The best attackers,
conversations.
Hey man, the best attackers, right? Bar a few, are rapid. That's a key component to their game. The best attackers, for the most part, Kaká, for example, he got injured, didn't come back the same way. Fernando Torres didn't come back the same way.
Another thing, bro. Kaká, what happened to Kaká when he got injured?
He basically, well, I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but he basically became more of like a technically sound player, like slower midfielder.
Was he ever peak Kaká after that?
Never ever again.
No. What happened to Thierry Henry once he lost his pace? People
Was
ain't ready
never
for
the
these
same player.
conversations.
Hey man, he
What
went to MLS at 31.
What can people answer me? Yeah, what happened? Comments. Everyone that's saying all this. What happened to Henry when Henry lost his pace?
He went to the New York Red Bulls at 30 years old.
It's uncomfortable, bro. It's uncomfortable. But there we go.
I think the thing with Mbappe, right? Just to end it. And honestly, I think the key thing that we're saying here, you have Mbappe, I have Neymar. Some people might even have Messi. I disagree at this stage in his career. They all play for the same team, man. If PSG ever get this shit sorted out, it's over for everyone. But yeah, man. I mean, yo, lob us some of your questions. I think that's where I stand with the debate. Neymar and Mbappe. Yeah. I think I mess with both of them, so I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem basically giving it to Mbappe at the moment.
I don't have a problem if you want to give it to Neymar, but I just find how narratives change. How it went from he's washed to he's the best player in the world, and then it's interesting. But I love Neymar, and I hope Brazil, if not England, win the flipping win the World Cup.
They didn't mess with that Antonio jab, bro. They ain't messing with that.
Huh?
They didn't mess with that Antonio jab you threw in there. Bro.
Am I throwing Antonio's face?
You basically said these guys are pretending that Mbappe is Mikel Antonio.
Bro, am I lying right now, bro? Am I lying right now? People are actually going on as if he's Mikel Antonio or something. Like he just runs and he's got no. Anyway, let me not even.
What are your thoughts on Mudryk, the Ukrainian kid at Shakhtar?
Looks good, explosive. But can't rate him. Let's see when he gets injured. Let's see when he gets injured and if he comes back good. That's what I'm gonna say. I can't rate him yet. I've got to wait until he comes back from a ACL. That's when I'm gonna rate Mudryk.
We got some questions here. Big nation that will flop at the World Cup and Golden Boot winner. I'm sure once we get to the World Cup too, we're going to do a lot more content specifically on that. But right now, just off the top of your head, without thinking too much, who's the country that's going to flop at the World Cup and who is going to win the Golden Boot winner? I got both in my head already.
I think France are going to flop. I think they're going to flop at the Euros. I think they're going to. It's early, man. Let me see the lineups and stuff, man.
No. I don't think. Trying to on the fence hype, bro.
I don't think France are gonna do that well in this tournament, right? I don't think they're gonna do that well in this tournament.
Do they get out of a group with Denmark, Tunisia, and Australia?
No, they'll get out. And I think I don't fancy Portugal, but Portugal, is that a big name? I mean, is that really a surprise?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else.
I would have said Belgium, and I don't know if they're considered a big name anymore either. But I think
golden generation.
Yeah, they're cooked. I think they're cooked as hell.
That fake Premier League all 11, bro. that was the most overrated generation of football I've ever seen in my life.
What you think about the Dutch? The Dutch got something or not?
You know what? The Dutch again, they always flatter to deceive.
Yeah,
I don't really expect much from them. But you see, I don't want to do it because I've been backing Brazil to win the World Cup, but because of people like you, Liaz, people like you. Because when you get onto things go wrong, Because of people like you, because I swear, I don't know what it is. Me, when I tweet, it's my own thoughts. Whether you like it or not.
What are you saying? I'm stealing people's thoughts.
No. There's something about when you tweet that you get just a bunch of random people just gassing up the thing, to the point where it's like it becomes too much gas. It's like I'm seeing ESPN posting this emoji when Brazil's attack is stacked. When I start seeing all this stuff, I'm like, they're gonna go bust.
Man, the clout is different, bro.
I don't know, man. There's something about you that is a curse, bro. Big man thing. So I was going Brazil, but now I feel like jumping off it, and I'm gonna go Argentina.
I can't complain of either one. Let me replace my light real quick. I got another question for you in the meantime. Juve's. Oh, by the way, tell them who do you think will win the Golden Boot? I'll be right back.
Wait. See, I can't even pin the things. MK, what do you mean that is me, bro? What are you trying to say is me? I need to understand what you're trying to say is me. Why are they calling me a professional hater? I'm literally saying the truth. Anytime Liaz jumps on something, it goes bust. You check it, man. Check it. Me, when I say stuff, I'm 90%. I shoot 90% from the free throw line. Literally 90% from the free throw line. Big nation out flop. Let me check what other questions there is while Liez is. I don't know what happened to him. Belgium is dead. Based on talent and entertainment. Who do you want to see in the
Hold up. Let me defend myself real quick. I was listening the whole time, bro. Hold up. The entire season last year, from match day 1 to match day 38 and into the Champions League, I was hyping up Benzema to no extent, saying he's the best player in the world. From match day 1, when everyone was talking about Salah, what do you mean everything I say goes? You're a hater, bro.
Bro,
this guy's trying to ruin my credibility, bro.
You shoot like, all right, you shoot like 70 from the free throw line.
Hey, bro.
I shoot 90. I'm like KD at the free throw line,
bro. What's that one? It's like I don't care if I shoot 0 for 15 or 0 for 1500.
If I stop shooting, that means you lost confidence.
Hey, bro. I'm a heavy volume. Let me get 10 out of 10 million.
No, don't kill me, bro. Don't kill me. Nah, hey, I don't know, man. I feel I forgot the question that I was meant to answer. There was an answer. Allegri 2 UCL games defeat for the first time. There's the first time, I think. What's the Argentina? There was a question that I was gonna answer, and I just Cams, Vinny or Mbappe as a 1v1 player. Mbappe.
Easy.
Mbappe. Have you seen Mbappe on the stop-start? Oh, bro, he's so electric, bro. He's so electric. That's the thing. So yeah, I like that one. Easy.
What happened to this about England hyping the Euros, bro? Everything that I touch apparently goes to shit. This guy's cheeky as hell, bro.
Bro, listen, and let me tell people something, yeah?
I remember that.
When I put stocks in someone, they go to the moon.
Except Grealish when he goes to City, except
I got Grealish a Premier League title.
I'm gonna start bookmarking your tweets, bro. On God, I'm gonna come back with receipts next time, bro. I didn't know we were doing this. Fair enough.
Hey, bro, when I touch something, it goes to the moon. It goes to the moon. Then once I start seeing something, I move on. Once it becomes a massive thing, I move on. Let me tell you that anyway. So we move, man. We move. Yeah. Go on, guys. Send us 2-3 more questions, and we'll touch that.
You want to do this one? Do you guys think we're slowly entering back to vibes football? I think systems is nearing an end. What do you guys reckon? I don't think so, to be honest with you.
When Pep leaves City, it'll fully be.
I think that's true. I think as football tends to follow Pep, I really do believe that the trend kind of goes to where he goes. 4-3-3. If you remember before Pep, it was 4-2-3-1 was heavy. I remember Jose 4-2-3-1. Everyone was doing that. Even Spain. I remember Jose like 2009, 2008 with that Inter team in particular. Chelsea as well, 4-2-3-1. Pep comes in 4-3-3, 1 DM, 2 central midfielders, and everyone started copying that. Then obviously it skipped forward a bit, but the false 9 era, he kind of kickstarted that off. Everyone was playing without a striker, and now he decides to go buy Erling Haaland, and everyone wants to play with a big man again. So I think football kind of follows his trends and his curves. But I think once he leaves City, you're right. Like, will football become a bit more free-flowing? I think you're already seeing that. I keep saying football is healing. I keep tweeting that. Football is slowly beginning to heal. And I think you're kind of seeing the end of the inside forward era. You're seeing the return of the big man. You're seeing almost too, Cam, you were talking about midfielders who can do everything. I think football is almost entering that kind of, like I look at Declan Rice, for example, kind of represents that kind of midfielder you're talking about, an all-around midfielder. So, yeah, maybe it's entering a bit, but I still maintain as long as Pep is there, teams will continue with the system over individuals.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. I agree. I think the game, while Pep is at City, and City are still one of the most prominent teams in world football, it's going to be a bit, people are still going to be looking at them as the standard bearers. But eventually, I think it'll move along. A lot of these youths that are coming up in the 2000 babies and stuff, they've got their own mind, man. They got their own mind.
That's crazy, bro.
From 91, bro. But as Ten Hag said, era's come to an end, and we're going to see them soon. We're going to see them soon. Ain't going to say too much. Everyone's on to Nunes, boy.
Yeah, bro.
Nunes.
Makes me happy. Makes me smile.
Hey, bruv, listen, Nunes, I don't know about that guy. He's not a great player, but I still think he's going to somehow stat pad goals. I think people kind of overdid it yesterday. My tweet went viral on him where I said that You know what, bro? Sometimes I be tweeting, yeah, I don't even want it to go viral, and it just goes viral, and
Hey,
I'm just like,
man.
oh, that is peak, bro. Yeah, I
Would you
mean,
do the All-Star game? We talked about that a little earlier. Go check out our live earlier for that one. I'm trying to look at some last-minute questions before we dip. Who are your top 10 managers? Maybe we don't have to do top 10. Who are your top 5? Can you think of any off the top of your head?
a man are saying Sterling played with freedom under Pep. Fair enough. I don't know what freedom
Used to be,
y'all
bro.
saw.
Yeah, y'all don't remember Liverpool Sterling. That was freedom right there.
I don't know what freedom y'all saw. I am not doing 10 managers, man.
Top 5, I said. If you can think of 5 off the top of your head, who do you rate in the top
5
5?
managers.
You know what was a good one? Sorry, we got a super chat earlier and we briefly talked about it, but this kind of goes into that. Is Conte in the top 5 with his Champions League record? And I kind of bring that up because people have always put Ancelotti in that top 5, but Ancelotti's domestic record isn't anything to go crazy about. Same with Thomas Tuchel. So it really matters. Do you favor Champions League over domestic success? Do they have to have both? Where do you stand on that?
I mean, in a way you do, but I don't think there's many managers. How can you? I mean, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one because I do think Conte is up there. I do think Conte is up there. So I get what you're saying. That's his stain. That's his stain. But when I see man go Italy, win it with Inter, bounce. Go Chelsea, win it with Chelsea, bounce. Dominate with Juventus. It's hard to be like, oh, because he ain't won a Champions League, he can't be.
It's not about the Champions League, bro. It's not about not winning it. It's the failures to even like do anything of notice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go Pep, Klopp,
Ruben Amorim.
Ruben Amorim, bro. You know, like that. Look, watch. Remember, people, yeah. When I put stocks in something, watch Amorim go to the moon. Remember, I told you, lot. Watch him go to the moon. You guys are gonna come back here. You're gonna come back to me. But it's tough, man. To be honestly, bro, I don't have the answer to that one right now. There's Diego Simeone, but I think Atletico are crashing now.
Yeah,
Ancelotti, but I just seen him at Napoli and Everton, and you know, it's all about situations, man. It's all about situations, honestly. So
I like this one. This guy ranks managers based on how they influence football, and Conte in that regard is high up there. I remember when he came into the league with 3 in the back, and everyone started playing that, so he got influence on his side too. I think that's really all the questions we got today. I mean, unless someone gives us anything really interesting at the end. But yo, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a crazy week of Champions League. Hopefully it gets a little better. Tomorrow we may or may not be back for Manchester United in Europa League. We'll see. We're still negotiating for that. But yo, basically, I'm going to remember this actually. Like, subscribe, notifications on so you see all future videos. Guys, all of Cam's content is going to live on this page. Mine is coming in the next few weeks. That nostalgia, you guys, I know you guys love that shit like crack. It's coming. Don't worry about that. But yo, FTBL is the place to be, guys. Make sure you subscribe again. What's the likes saying right now?
The likes are currently on 106. When you're leaving, just hit the like button, guys. Yeah. And as we said, subscribe. Thursday is the main event anyway, but we'll see what happens against Sheriff. But yeah, listen, like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on as well. That's super important. It's been a great show, and we should be back next week with the Champions League roundup. We're out.
Peace.